Welcome to Mrs. E English Skills. I'm Mrs. E and today we're looking at how to pass your Functional Skills English Level 2 reading exam. First, let's have a look at the exam overview. I base this on the Edexcel Pearson papers, but it should cover most, if not all, of the other exam boards. So the duration of the exam is 1 hour. The source materials will be 3 texts of various formats, such as leaflets, articles, web pages. The skills that will be tested are identifying main points and detail, infer meanings, compare texts, and analyse tone, purpose and bias. And in total, there will be around 14 questions. Let's recap reading strategies, as these are pivotal to helping you pass a reading exam. So you need to skim for main ideas. By looking quickly over the text, you can gain an understanding of what it's about and its purpose. You need to scan for specific information after reading the question first. So whatever the question asks you to find, then you'll be able to scan for this information without having to read the full text, which will save you time. Then you can annotate or highlight any key phrases, and you can manage your time wisely. Time for a quick quiz. What's the skill? Can you match the terms to the definitions? So we have inference, summarising, comparing, and writer's purpose, all relevant for your Functional Skills Level 2 reading exam. Pause the video here to see if you can match the definitions to the terms before I reveal the answers. Okay, time for the answers. So inference is using clues from the text and your own knowledge to understand something that isn't directly stated. Summarising is picking out the main ideas and putting them into your own words in a shorter form. Comparing is looking at 2 or more things to explore how they are similar or different. And writer's purpose is the reason why a text has been written, for example, to inform, persuade, or entertain. How did you do? Now let's look at some sample texts to help us practice similar questions to those that you will get in your Functional Skills Level 2 reading exam. So here we have a text with the title, Cleaner Communities Start With You. Recycling is one of the easiest ways to reduce your carbon footprint. Just by sorting your plastics and papers, you can make a real difference. Place recyclable materials into the designated bins and help your community become cleaner and greener. For the question, what is the main purpose? Is it A, to entertain, B, to inform, C, to persuade, or D, to describe? Pause the video to have a go before I reveal the answers. So what's the correct answer? It's C, persuade. But why? Well, the text highlights the positive impact of recycling. You can make a real difference. It uses direct address, you, to involve the reader. It gives simple instructions. Place recyclable materials into the designated bins. And it appeals to a shared goal. Help your community become cleaner and greener. So overall, the writer wants to encourage and motivate people to take action. Let's look at an inference question. So here we have an article called Through Rain and Roar, and it states, despite the rain, the crowd cheered as the final whistle blew. It had been a long season, but their loyalty never faded. The players waved to the stands, acknowledging their unwavering support. What can be inferred about the crowd? You could pause the video here to have a go at a short form answer before I reveal the multiple choice answers that you are given. Okay, so the multiple choice answers you can choose from are A, they are disappointed, B, they are loyal supporters, C, they dislike the weather, D, they lost the match. Pause the video here to pick your answer before I reveal the answer. Okay, so the most appropriate answer would be B, they are loyal supporters. And the evidence to prove this is the fact that the crowd cheered, their loyalty never faded, and they had unwavering support. How did you do? Now let's look at some more complicated questions. For example, compare and contrast. Now Pearson tend to only ask you to compare, which means just looking for similarities. But if you are asked to contrast, that just means you're looking for differences. So let's look at the text that we're presented with. Text A states, wearing school uniform helps maintain discipline and fosters a sense of equality. It prevents peer pressure about clothing and allows students to focus more on learning. Uniforms create a professional atmosphere that prepares students for the workplace. Text B states, school uniforms can help reduce competition over fashion, making students feel more equal. They also encourage learners to concentrate on their education rather than worry about what they wear. However, some believe uniforms limit self-expression and should not be compulsory. So the question would read, compare similar ideas from text A and text B about school uniform. In your answer you should give two similarities from these texts about wearing school uniform, and give one quotation from text A and one quotation from text B to support each similarity. You'll notice that the two similarities are worth 2 marks, and then the quotations, because in total you should have 4, are worth 4 marks, which means this question is worth a whopping 6 marks. So if you get it right, then you are giving yourself a really high chance of passing this exam. So let's break it down. Firstly, we need to come up with 2 similarities from these texts about wearing school uniform. Now, these similarities must be written in our own words. They are not quotations from the text, they are answers formulated based on our understanding of each text. Pause the video here to have a go before I reveal my answers. Okay, so let's look at my answers. They are, uniforms promote equality and uniforms help students focus on learning. Now the next thing I need to do is find a quotation from each text to support each of my answers. Why don't you pause the video here to have a go before I reveal the quotations that I have chosen. So my quotations are from text A, fosters a sense of equality, and text B, students feel more equal. That would suit my first similarity, which is uniforms promote equality. Okay, for uniforms help students focus on learning, from text A I have chosen allow students to focus more on learning, and from text B, encourage learners to concentrate on their education. How did you do? Did you get the full 6 marks? Moving on to language features. Now, in all my years of teaching functional skills, this is the question that most students tend to stumble on because it is written covering quite a large space and it seems like there is a lot for you to do. But when you understand language features, this question is really quite easy. So please look in my playlist at my language features videos and that will really help you with this question. So we've got a text here that says, it's time to leave traffic jams and pollution in the past. The city's new electric tram system is fast, clean and efficient. Everything modern transport should be. Why waste hours in gridlock when you could travel smoothly and safely in a tram that helps save the environment? Government figures show a 40% drop in public transport emissions, and with travel times cut by nearly a third, it's clear the future is electric. More bike lanes and smart traffic lights are coming soon, but change starts with you. Choose greener transport today and help build a cleaner tomorrow. So what we have here is a clearly set out question and answer section. And the question states, using text C, identify 2 language features used to persuade readers to support transport developments. Give an example to support each answer. So you see you will get a mark for the language feature and a mark for the example. So the language feature will be the label of that feature. For example, metaphor. So if you were to choose metaphor, that would go under language feature. And then you would need to find the quote in the text that is a metaphor, and you would write that under example. Now, not all exam boards offer this breakdown in order to answer the question, but all would require you to identify the language feature and to quote the example. So you could even lay this out yourself in your own answer if it's not provided. And you'll see for this specific question, it's worth 4 marks, which is a lot again to get you towards passing this exam. So before I reveal my answers, have a go, pause the video here and see what you can come up with. Okay, so my answers. There are quite a few to choose from, but I have chosen for my feature a rhetorical question, and the example is why waste hours in gridlock. For my next feature, I have chosen rule of 3, and my example is fast, clean, and efficient. How did you do? Did you find any different ones? Let's look at other suitable persuasive language features that students might identify. Did you identify these? So we have emotive language, pollution, cleaner tomorrow. Statistics, 40% drop in emissions. Direct address, change starts with you. And metaphor, the future is electric. Okay, so although Pearson seemed to have shied away from using bias in question wording, I think it is very relevant to go over this just in case it comes back or it's on any of the other exam board exams. So, fact and opinion I talk about in my level 1 playlist. I think I maybe talk about it a little bit in my level 2 playlist too, but bias is a different type of opinion, and bias means that it would benefit you in some way or it's prejudiced against something else. So let's look at this text. Why we should all cycle to work. Cycling to work is clearly the best option for anyone who cares about their health, their wallet, and the environment. Unlike cars, which pollute the air and clog up the roads, bicycles are clean, efficient, and fun to ride. It's obvious that people who choose to drive instead are simply lazy or unaware of the benefits of cycling. Councils should stop wasting money on car parks and invest more in bike lanes. After all, if everyone cycled, we'd have healthier people, safer streets, and a much better quality of life. For this text, the question might read, give 2 quotations that show bias. Can you pause the video here to have a go before I reveal my answers? Okay, just before I reveal my answers, remember the question asks us to give 2 quotations, so we need to lift it as it's written in the text and write it down for our answers. So my first one is, it's obvious that people who choose to drive instead are simply lazy or unaware of the benefits of cycling. This is biased because it unfairly generalises drivers as lazy or uninformed, ignoring legitimate reasons someone might drive. And for my second one, councils should stop wasting money on car parks and invest more in bikes. And this is biased because it presents spending on car parks as a waste without acknowledging that some people may need to drive and benefit from parking infrastructure. How did you do? So now we've looked at the more complicated questions, let's have a look at some quick tips to boost your score. So read every question carefully. Just like the question previously, it stated that you specifically had to write quotations. If you misread that and write your own answers formulated in your own mind, then you would lose marks. Use evidence from the text. As with the level 1 paper, this reading paper will also require you to find the answers in the text. Even if you are writing the answers in your own words, it will be based on evidence that's actually in the text. Look for signal words, e.g. however, although. So signal words show how ideas are connected. So words like however, although, and on the other hand, will show contrasts. Therefore, as a result, and because show cause and effect. So if this happens, then that will happen. So if this happens, therefore, this will happen. And firstly, in addition, and finally, shows sequence or addition. Why does this matter? Understanding these connections helps you follow the author's argument or purpose, which provides a greater understanding of the text. Signal words also give clues about tone or opinion. So words like unfortunately, clearly, and undoubtedly might show bias or emphasis. And you may be asked about the writer's viewpoint or the purpose of the paragraph, in which these words would be really useful. Time yourself in practice. There are plenty of practice papers online that you can download, print out, and time yourself completing. And check your answers if time allows. Be very careful here though. If you know that you tend to second guess yourself and change your answer, and you often change it for the wrong answer, then maybe avoid this. It's useful though for those answers that you were not too sure on and you just wrote an answer just to move on. Go back and have another read of the question and just make sure you're absolutely happy with what you've put down, if you have the time. Some common mistakes and how to avoid them are misreading the question. Always read the question twice to avoid this. Guessing without text evidence. The answers will be there, so highlight clues as you read through the text. Rushing. Keep an eye on the clock so you're not in a position towards the end where you're having to rush to finish the paper. And ignoring tone. So what do you think and feel as you are reading a text? What sort of tone is created by the words, techniques, choices the writer has made? So, in summary, think about your key skills. Make sure you skim, scan, you know how to infer, you know how to compare, and you know how to analyse tone. Practice using real exam style questions. And also, read every day to build confidence in your reading skills. You've got this, believe in your ability and keep practicing. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please like and subscribe because it really helps me continue to produce these videos, and this is a real passion of mine. I wish you the best of luck in your level 2 reading exam. I'm Mrs. E, and I'll see you next time.